Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Artificial intelligence is literally holding the market up and is exploding upwards. There are many exciting artificial intelligence companies and stocks to invest in. I'm going to show you the best artificial intelligence stocks that make good long-term investments. I think I can help you and help myself to run with the bulls without getting gored. Yes, folks, it's time for a bull run. Hang on. I am Dr. Stephen Fox. These are my personally selected stocks. This is not financial advice, as I do not know your personal situation. Artificial intelligence has been barging into our lives, and it has been stunning. The most stunning example I can think of when I look at my life and seeing the changes that have occurred over the years has been in car factories. The machines, the robots are putting the cars together, and there's not a human being in sight. Unbelievable. Attention to artificial intelligence was heightened recent months when Chat GPT was developed and implemented by Microsoft into its Bing browser. This really got things going. So Microsoft is going to be one of the investments I'm looking at. Microsoft is a mega cap, and just about any of the online mega caps, I will call them, any of those can be invested in, and probably will be a good investment, especially in the long term, because they all will be using artificial intelligence. This is a revolution. This is equal to the dot-com explosion around the year 2000. It's going to take some time for it to develop, but I don't think as much time as it took for the internet to develop. It's already moving so fast we can hardly keep up with it. So the first investment I'm making or explaining is in Microsoft, whose symbol is MSFT, good old softy as they call it. I was going to wait until they had a debt ceiling bill passed so that we didn't have to worry about the United States defaulting on its debts that it's already created. But Janet Yellen announced that she's pushed back the date, that she has enough money to pay the bills until at least June 5th. And so we got a little negotiating room here, and I think they will take it to the last day. And they're going home for the holiday weekend. So I think they're going to get a deal. It's just they have a little more negotiating time, which actually is bullish and takes the pressure off a little bit for a couple days for stocks. They can continue to go up. And looking at the chart, you can see why I invested in Microsoft. The action is just too explosive to ignore. This is a revolution, folks. You want to get in on this. At least I want to get in on it for the long term. And I'm what I call a long-term day trader. I stick with the stock, but I trade in and out of it depending on conditions. I did that with Tesla. I did it all the way up with Tesla, and I made $500,000. So it seems to work well with my personality. But I think we're in a situation, unless the debt ceiling bill does not pass, and I think they're going to pass it, odds are that they will pass it, okay? And that's implicit in my trading right now. And now that we've gotten an extension of the debt ceiling a little bit to June 5th. And so we got a few days at least before we have to worry about it totally. But looking at the chart on Microsoft, you can see it's gone from about $280 to $333 in a month. Wow. For a mega cap to do that, that's outrageous. And its relative strength is a solid, very solid 74. And the bands you see around it, that line in the middle is the 20-day average. And it's well above the 20-day average, of course. And it's broken above the Bollinger Bands. The Bollinger Bands, that orange area around it, that is where the price should fall with a 95% probability. Now, some people would look at this and say, "Oh, it's being overbought. You better sell." That's not my experience. My experience is when you have a revolution and it breaks out above the Bollinger Band decisively, and not wimpily, but decisively, as this has done, that is a breakout. And usually there's more breaking out to be done with the breakout. So I anticipate it's going to go higher, and I'm going to stick with it. Google is the best search engine company, and of course the parent of YouTube, and I am strongly invested in it. And they also have an artificial intelligence that they're adding to their browser called Bard. And they do remarkable things. They recently made chips that worked better than Nvidia's on a computer. They were showing off how well their chip worked and claimed that their chip on this computer made the computer go faster than Nvidia's. So they're multi-talented. They're going to come through. They're going to be a great company. They are a great company. They're going to be an even greater company. So I'm strongly invested in them. And looking at the chart, you can see that good old Google has gone up from 105 to almost 125 in a month. And its relative strength is 72, which is good. And it's in the upper part of its Bollinger Bands. Google seems to be struggling a little bit more, but I have long-term faith in the company, and it hasn't gone up as dramatically as some of the other stocks, some of the other mega caps. So I expect Google to have a steady course upward, maybe not explosive growth, but good steady growth. And then there was the recent news with Nvidia. They came out with their quarterly report, and the quarterly report itself wasn't all that great. It was okay, but it wasn't all that great, But what really propelled it forward was the guidance given to the next quarter, that they claimed that they were going to make 11 billion in the next quarter, mainly because of artificial intelligence. This company has never made more than 8 billion, and I think 7 billion was kind of the consensus expectation of what they expected for the next quarter, and that was beaten by over 50%, around 50%. So basically, they a major company like this, they're not saying this unless they have a good basis for saying it, because it's major pie in the face if they don't come through with it. So it was a major thing. So Nvidia, I wish I was invested in it, but I don't know. I think I wanted to see it calm down a little before I go into it. I'm already invested in super microcomputer, and I've been banging the table on this for over a year, and man, has it come through like I never even expected. I used to dream that it would hit 200 someday, and nowadays it's hitting over 220. So wow. Super microcomputer does many things in storage and components, and they're a computer maker, but the main thing I think they're known for is servers. And You can think of them as providing artificial intelligence servers, and that's where they make their money, and that is the big deal with Super Microcomputer, whose symbol is SMCI. Please smash that like button if any of this has been useful for you. And looking at the chart of SMCI, Super Microcomputer, a year ago it was at about 50. A month ago, it was at about 95. Today, it went just over 219. I can't smash the table anymore. I can't pound the table anymore. The table is completely broken in pieces. Its relative strength is an overbought 89, and it's well above the Bollinger Bands, of course. Oh no, you better sell it, right? I'm not selling anytime soon, let me tell you. I'm going to hang on to this. There's an old saying in the stock market, let your winners run. And I'm going to let this winner run as far as it can. In this video, I've presented some very solid companies that can be invested in for the long term. There's also a lot of speculative artificial intelligence stocks you can invest in. And that's going to be the focus of my next video. They're speculative, but they have a good basis, and there's a reason for doing it. And the risk to reward, you're taking more risk, but the reward could be huge. And I don't think you need to invest a lot of money to benefit from these if they should take off in a major way. And if they don't take off, well, you didn't put that much money into it anyway. So that's kind of the way I approach the real speculative investments, and I'll be going into that more. And I will also be exploding the myths you are hearing from the doomsayers on YouTube. They are wrong, simply, and they don't acknowledge it. And each day that goes by, it's being shown that they're wrong. The only thing that can stop this bull market is if they don't pass the debt ceiling. That is the only thing. If they don't pass that, it will be a catastrophe. And I fully acknowledge that. And that is the risk, and that is the only risk. And call your representative and tell them, would you please set aside your differences and just pass the damn thing? We need this passed. Thank you. Take it easy. I'll try to calm down. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.